Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to share with you what were my longest boss fights in Souls games. Now I'm not going to include Elden Ring in this list because my first playthrough was like a challenge run where I couldn't use Ashes of War or I could not change weapon. But I did went to check my files, and Black Blade Kindred, a boss I found crazy early into the game, took me 12 minutes to beat, and Godskin Duo, which were one of the hardest bosses in the entire game, also took me 12 minutes. So at number 5 we have Demon of Hatred from Sekiro, which is an optional boss you find very late into the game, and it's easily one of the hardest bosses. Now with this boss it's pretty easy to understand why it took so long to beat, as it has a ton of health, 3 phases, where it keeps adding new moves, and a lot of attacks where all you can do is pretty much jump or run away from him, making it hard to actually do any kind of damage to the boss. A few examples are the jumping attack followed by an explosion. Another one is the charge attack, and also this one where he spins his head and fireballs chase you around the arena, and all you can do is simply run. So on my first playthrough of Sekiro, my first ever victory over Demon of Hatred took 7 minutes. At number 4 we have Lawrence from Bloodborne, and I went back and forth whether I should include this fight or not because my first time ever fighting Lawrence was on New Game Plus. But because I finished the entire game and the challenge dungeons and found some really powerful gems, I think I was probably leveled for him. So Lawrence shares a few things with Demon of Hatred. He is also optional. He has also a ton of health. In fact, he is the boss with more health in Bloodborne, if you discard the challenge dungeons bosses, of course. He also has 3 phases, and as Demon of Hatred, he is one of the hardest bosses in the game. As for the fight itself, I am guilty of being crazy afraid of the one-shot potential of Lawrence, so I always took a very defensive approach while fighting him, attacking only one time when it was really safe to do it. The fact that the arena is a bit small for his size also made me run away many times from one side to the other to avoid getting cornered, which of course only made the fight longer. To finally beat Lawrence on my first playthrough, it took 9 minutes. In number 3 we have Lady Butterfly from Sekiro, and this is where things get a bit crazy when it comes to very long fights. Now, unlike probably most people that fight Gyubu as their first boss, I had the bad luck to fight Lady Butterfly, and me coming from Bloodborne and Dark Souls, of course I fought this boss with those games' combat still in my mind. The result was me dying 16 times in a row, and at my 17th attempt I decided to run away from her all the time until she gave me an attack I could punish. This of course made the fight extremely long and extremely boring. When I finally beat her, the timer was at 17 minutes. Now for our number 2 we have the amazing Melash from Bloodborne, which is to many people one of the worst bosses Fromsoftware has ever done. And if I would have judged the boss on my first playthrough, I would also agree with that statement. Fighting Melash for the first time is like solving a puzzle, but that puzzle has 1 million pieces, and while you're trying to solve that puzzle, you have nasty skeletons trying to kill you. Basically, this fight was designed to make you go mad, and it works to perfection. In fact, I simply could not solve the puzzle because instead of making him go to the cage where we were supposed to fight him, I spent the entire second phase of the fight running after him, and from time to time I would get a single hit only for him to disappear and force me to run in circles to find him again and repeat the process. To finally beat Melash, the king of trolls, it took 21 minutes. And for our number 1 we have the Folding Scream Monkeys from Sekiro, which were my longest fight in the series by quite the difference. Now if you never fought this boss, basically you are thrown into a place with 4 monkeys, and each monkey has a different skill that will be a massive problem for you to solve. One is invisible, another one can hear very well, so stealth is key. Another one can see very well, so as soon as he sees you, he runs away, and boy oh boy do they run fast. And last we have a monkey that as soon as he sees you, he alerts all the other monkeys, so all of them run away. This puzzling fight does have some help though, as you can talk to this dude here for some insight on how each monkey works. Still, it was crazy hard to figure out what to do exactly, and because of that, the Folding Scream Monkeys were easily my longest fight, with a time of 30 minutes. That's insane. 30 minutes running around after monkeys. That's crazy. And that's my list, guys. If you want, please share yours on the comments. I'm curious to see which bosses gave you a ton of problems and took forever to beat. And as always, I see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.